Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about controversies currently shaking up the Fortnite competitive scene, the so-called Peterbot incident. It's a story that combines viral video culture, the power of social media outrage, and the complicated question of how much accountability we can expect from young esports stars. Peterbot, whose real name is Peter Carter, is widely regarded as one of the top professional Fortnite players in the world. Over his career, he's racked up over $900,000 in competitive earnings and built a reputation for being not just mechanically skilled, but also one of the most consistent players in the game's competitive history. However, in early August 2025, his career took a serious hit when a short but highly damaging video surfaced online. The clip, only about 14 seconds long, quickly went viral. In it, Peterbot can be seen and heard using extremely offensive language, including multiple uses of the N-word and the F-slur, while hanging out at what was described as a gaming agent house. The clip spread like wildfire across Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit, sparking outrage within hours. What made this particular controversy stand out wasn't just the language itself, but the context in which it happened and the reaction that followed. According to multiple sources, the footage dates back to when Peterbot was around 16 years old, a time when he was already well known in the Fortnite community, but still very young. The setting, an agent house, is reportedly a place where several gamers were staying together, often under loose supervision. It's the kind of environment where peer pressure, immaturity, and a lack of oversight can combine into a recipe for poor decisions. Still, that context didn't soften the blow for most viewers. Within hours of the video gaining traction, fans, streamers, and other Fortnite pros began weighing in. Some were blunt in their condemnation, saying there's simply no excuse for using racial or homophobic slurs, regardless of age or circumstances. Others took a more cautious approach, acknowledging that teenagers can make mistakes, but stressing that public figures, especially those in esports, need to be aware that their actions will be scrutinized and can have long-lasting consequences. As the backlash grew, all eyes turned to Peterbot himself, waiting to see how he would respond. He eventually released a statement on social media addressing the incident. In it, he claimed that the language he used in the clip didn't reflect who he is now, that it happened years ago, and that he had been influenced by the environment around him at the time. He framed it as a moment of youthful stupidity shaped by peer pressure rather than genuine hatred or prejudice. However, the apology immediately became a controversy of its own. Not long after it was posted, sharp-eyed fans discovered that the entire statement appeared to be 100% AI-generated. It matched the tone, structure, and even some exact phrasing seen in widely circulated AI apology templates. This revelation made the situation even worse for Peterbot. What could have been seen as a genuine attempt to take accountability instead came across as impersonal and disingenuous. People argued that if he couldn't even write his own apology, it showed he wasn't truly remorseful, he was just trying to make the backlash go away. This AI-generated apology quickly became a meme in itself, with players and influencers mocking the generic phrasing and pointing out how easy it is to spot such computer-written statements. In a gaming community that often prides itself on calling out fake or performative behavior, this was seen as a massive misstep. Some even said the AI apology was worse than the original offense because it showed he wasn't willing to put in the effort to personally address his fans and critics. Meanwhile, the Fortnite competitive scene began speculating about what consequences, if any, Peterbot might face. There's no official word yet on whether Epic Games or tournament organizers will impose disciplinary measures, but many believe a temporary suspension or ban is possible. Others think the controversy will simply fade with time, as new competitions and viral moments take over the community's attention, something that has happened before with other esports scandals. Still, for now, the damage to Peterbot's reputation is significant. Brands and sponsors in esports are particularly sensitive to public image, and many companies prefer to distance themselves from players involved in controversies like this. For a competitor who's still early in his career, losing sponsorships can be a huge financial and professional setback. The incident also reignited a broader conversation about accountability and maturity in esports. Unlike traditional sports, where players usually go through years of training, media coaching, and team oversight, esports athletes often rise to fame as teenagers, with little preparation for the public spotlight. They may have incredible in-game skills, but handling fame, money, and criticism is an entirely different challenge. In Peterbot's case, the fact that the video was recorded years ago doesn't erase the impact of his words, especially since they were hurtful to entire communities. At the same time, some fans have argued that people do change, and that holding someone's teenage mistakes against them forever isn't always fair. The tricky part is deciding where to draw the line. Is there a point at which someone has apologized enough and shown enough personal growth to be forgiven? Or does the harm caused by certain words linger regardless of time passed? This is the dilemma that the Peterbot incident has brought into focus. It's also worth noting that esports scandals like this often act as cautionary tales for up-and-coming players. In a world where almost everything can be recorded and shared instantly, the margin for error is incredibly small. A single moment of bad judgment can overshadow years of hard work. That's why many in the community are urging younger players to be mindful of their words and actions, not just for their own careers, but because they have influence over thousands of fans who look up to them. As of now, the story is still developing. Peterbot hasn't made any further public statements since his AI-generated apology, and it remains to be seen whether he'll take additional steps to address the situation in a more personal and authentic way. The community is split. Some are calling for harsher consequences, while others believe the best approach is to let him prove through his actions over time that he's changed. One thing is certain. This controversy has left a mark on both Peterbot's career and the broader Fortnite scene. It's a reminder that in the age of instant communication and permanent digital records, reputations can be built or destroyed in the span of a few seconds. For Peterbot, the next few months will be crucial in determining whether he can recover from this scandal or whether it will define him in the eyes of the community for years to come. So, what do you think about the Peterbot incident? Should past mistakes be forgiven if someone claims to have grown since then, or should professional players be held to the highest possible standard at all times? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on the biggest stories in esports and gaming.